morning, everybody, and a very, very, very warm welcome to Virgin Australia. We're thrilled to be here this morning, the first time we've seen Virgin Australia, and these two gentlemen absolutely need no introduction, but I just wanted to give you a quick run through of what's happening. Firstly, Richard will say a few words, followed by John, and then we'll have a Q&A session. So thank you all very much for coming and joining with us today.
Well, look, first of all, just say thanks very much for coming, and welcome to Virgin Australia. A really, really exciting day, and I think everything the team have done at Virgin is just brilliant. The planes look fantastic on the outside. I think everybody here would agree. They look absolutely fantastic on the inside too. The new business and the economy class is without doubt the absolute best in Australia. The food is fantastic. And of course our wonderful staff, nothing beats them. They've been the best of the business for a long time, but now they also have these stunning new uniforms, and they look absolutely great. Well, very excitingly, I can also tell you that we'll be using the Virgin Australia brand across both the domestic and our international product. So we now just have the one brand throughout, which is going to make things a lot easier. Having one name to promote and advertise will allow us to build an even stronger brand that I know Australia will love and they'll be proud to call their own. This morning I had the pleasure of experiencing first of all I flew in on V Australia, which will soon be called Virgin Australia, from America. And I also had the pleasure of experiencing the Sydney Premium entrance at the domestic airport here at Sydney. And it's nothing short of brilliant. It's certainly the fastest check-in anywhere in the world. So all I can say is what a difference a year makes. John, what you have achieved in less than 12 months is nothing short of incredible. And it's a true testament to John's 38 years of experience in the industry. Don't look that old. And the talent and dedication of the whole team at Virgin Blue that they've been able to reposition the airline so quickly. When John first started, he had all of these ideas, and I'm truly amazed that he's been able to make this happen. Unfortunately, as I've had plenty of people throw ideas at me in the past, I decided to have a bet with John, as I didn't think he could do everything he said in 12 months. Well, today I'm very pleased to say I've lost that bet. He's not just achieved what he said he would, he's even thrown in a few more surprises. I've actually just listed some of the things that have happened in the last 12 months. Well, we have a new brand name, we have Virgin Australia, and we have a complete new look and feel to the airline. We've got confirmed international alliances with Etihad, Air New Zealand and SkyWest Airlines, and I suspect there's more announcements to come. We have a new business class seating and service across the domestic fleet and the international fleet. We have new airport lounges, and we have redesigned terminals. We have new aircraft to service regional destinations. We have a new V Australia service to Abu Dhabi that will soon be Virgin Australia. We have new Airbus A330 service between Sydney and Perth. We have a new menu designed by renowned chef Luke Mannion. We have stylish new uniforms for the staff. And we have Australia's first premium valet service and direct lounge entry. Anyway, not bad for a year. Don't know what you're going to do next year. Actually, I think I might take him on a bet on that one as well. So, of course, as John keeps telling me, he could not have done it without such a brilliant team of people, and that is something that will never, ever change at Virgin. Our staff have and always will be the most brilliant point of differentiation, and they will make Virgin Australia the airline of choice for Australians. Anyway, I'd now like to welcome and congratulate John Borghetti. Thank you. The first CEO of Virgin Australia.
Thank you very much, Richard. I have to put my glasses on so I can see you all. I have to say, when I took the bet, the odds were heavily on my favour because, thank you, I'm sure
Nothing personal.
unless The odds were in my favour for two simple reasons. I mean, one, I inherited staff which is just absolutely outstanding. I mean, there's nothing I can teach these people by way of service because they are brilliant. And the second thing is I had a truly, and I mean truly, global brand in Virgin. And frankly, it's a CEO's dream to have those two things in any new company that they go into, so I'm very grateful. Just before I say a couple of words, I just want to acknowledge that my executive team is here as well today, and they'll wave their hands in a moment. And after the press conference, if there's any further questions that you want to talk to them about, feel free. They're not going to tell you secrets that are down the pipeline, but they will talk to you about everything else. So today, the game changes in Australia. And it's the birth, as Richard quite rightly said, of Virgin Australia, a new airline. And in fact, in some ways, it really feels like today's my first day in the job, because the last 12 months have really been about hard work, about planning, about strategy, and today's where it all starts. It starts here and it starts now. This is where the new airline will start making a real difference. We're going to be more competitive in the leisure market than we've ever been, and you'll just stay tuned in the next 24, 48 hours and you'll see what I mean. We will break what has been effectively a monopoly in business class since the days that ANZ stopped flying. We will provide a product that is conducive and suitable for every end of the market. And we've seen Virgin do this in other parts of the world. We're going to see Virgin do this in Australia. But when I think about what we've done in 12 months, and Richard mentioned some of the things, you know, I wonder how did we do this? And really when you stop and think about it, it really gets down to one simple thing: hard work. We've got a lot of energy in the staff, we've got a lot of hunger, but very importantly, we've got staff that want to be the best in Australia. And that's what this is about. So today we unveil this very, very modern looking livery and brand, and it really does epitomise everything that Virgin Australia will stand for. Style, value for money, it'll be relevant in all sectors, it'll have a reputation, as it does today, as Virgin Blue does today, and the Australia does today, and Virgin Blue does today, of nothing but the best of service. And it's very, very clear from the livery that it's Australia, and we're very proud to say that we are part of Australia. So today, Virgin Blue will become Virgin Australia. Between now and the end of the calendar year, you will see the Australia and Pacific Blue also become Virgin Australia. So that by the end of this calendar year, there'll only be one brand. But it's not just the outside, as Richard said, it's the inside of the aircraft that is different as well, and you'll get to see that in a minute. But also we're going to take that look and feel right through the whole experience. So overnight there's going to be a lot of people working in a lot of airports to change some of the signage, look and feel of the airports as well. I've got to single out a few people, and Hans Holzbach, who is here somewhere, there he is. I've worked with Hans before, and we took him on to do the livery and the product design, interior of the aircraft, and everything that you'll see in terms of look and feel. And quite simply, the guy's the best in the business, right? And we're very fortunate to work with him. And in fact, you're going to see him a little cameo appearance in an ad shortly. One thing that I want to point out, Hans made the comment to me, which has stayed in my mind since he said it. He's been working very closely with our engineers. Obviously, there's a lot of work that needs to be done on the aeroplanes. And he has said, John, I've never met a more professional, more can-do bunch of people in my life. And I just want to thank the engineers very much. I don't think they're even here, but now, what about the advertising campaign? Well, I'm going to show you that in a moment, but probably one of the best things, one of the things that I'm really proud of is appointing Clincher as our advertising agency back in September. I'm not sure if Robert's here, but we've been working with Clincher's obviously tirelessly to come up with a new brand campaign, and I think this brand campaign really captures everything that we are trying to be, the best of the best. We've worked with Les Goff, who I don't know if he's here as well. Yes, he is down there, and he's he's composed a specific tune that will really be the backbone of our marketing campaign going forward. And what he has really done, I think, is captured the essence or the heritage of the Virgin brand and translated it to music, and you'll see that. So why don't I just stop there for a minute and play the ad so you can experience it for yourself. Watch out for cameo appearances from Hans and from Julie, where's Julie? Rebecca here, who designed the uniforms, and others. So can we play the music, please? Or the video, I should say. thanks to Clincher, Les, everybody involved in that ad. It will go to air tonight, and it will be on every TV station, obviously, and press in the morning. So, we'll take some Q&A in a moment, but just before we do that, this is, as I said before, the start. There's going to be many, many things rolling out between now and the end of the year, but even between now and 30 June. Tomorrow we open a special priority screening lane at Melbourne Airport for our premium guests. In a couple of weeks we're opening a completely new lounge at Melbourne Airport. A few weeks after that, a completely new lounge in Brisbane. And of course the Brisbane terminal is almost completed, and you will have seen that. All this architecturally inspired lounges, etc. have been done by Tim Greer, who, again, I don't know if he's here, there's so many people, but Tim from Compton, I can't pronounce Zuleika, but I'll try, and Green have done a great job, and again have carried that essence of the brand right through all the brand products. And of course, in a few months, we'll roll out a completely new, and I mean a completely new, frequent flyer program. So stay tuned for that one. In closing, I just want to say that, we all know that aviation is competitive, and we all know that there's stiff competition from everywhere. We don't take it for granted. But competition and discrimination is really in the Virgin DNA, and Richard is a testament to that. And I am really proud to say that we will make a difference in Australia. We've got great staff, they've got energy, hunger, and intent on being the best. So thank you all for coming. We'll take some Q&As, if that's all right, Daniel, and then our staff will be delighted to take you through the cabins. Thank you.
Well, it's the barriers have already been unlocked, so all the permissions have been granted for the brand. So it's now just up to John and the team to literally convert all the planes, all the logos, all the internet sites. I mean, it's a massive job, but John is happy that he can deliver by December.
Yeah, absolutely. And then just to follow up on that, if I may. So all the parties involved have agreed. Singapore Airlines, Virgin Management, Virgin Australia, or Virgin Blue, as it was still an hour ago, and so on. So it's really just now the practicality of putting it in place. Look, obviously we don't talk about contracts and arrangements, but obviously it was a discussion that's been had with every party, and that's not just Singapore Airlines, obviously it's the Virgin Management, and we're all happy with the arrangement and we're moving forward. So it's, if one party wasn't happy, then the whole thing wouldn't have worked, so I think we're... I don't know if I haven't been here 10 years, and I don't know whether there was what requirement there was for one brand then. I can't comment. All I can comment is on the 12 months that I've been here, and we had dialogue, and we reached I think an exceptionally good conclusion, and it enables us to really represent ourselves not just in name, not just in brand, but actually customer experience. There's a big difference at the moment if you fly the Australia versus Virgin Blue and so on. And what this enables us to do is make it more seamless. So it's the customer experience which is just as important as the brand.
I think if you look at Virgin's other airlines, Virgin Atlantic and Virgin America, they're one brand covering a specific market. They offer the best business class, long haul. They offer the best business class in America. Because they do that, we can afford to be competitive in the back end of the plane. And in Australia, what we plan to do is replicate that, to make sure that we have the best domestic business class, better than Qantas business class, and that will get a good percentage of Qantas business people travelling on Virgin, and that will enable us to make sure that we can afford to put brand new economy class seats in throughout our fleet, and when you see them, they look like business class seats, and they're fantastic. We can and also we can capture the business travellers we have done with our other airlines, We can be competitive, with any low-cost carrier flying in Australia as well as with Qantas. So, it really will mean that we can offer a great quality of product at great values.
It's really doing what Richard's done with Virgin Atlantic, as he said. Just because the price of the ticket is low, it doesn't mean you can't get quality. And that's exactly what we're trying to do.
In fact, quite the reverse. If you give quality, then people will go out of their way to fly you, and therefore you'll be able to fill your planes and so on.
Pacific Blue will have a premium cabin, but that's all that I'll say at the moment.
Okay, and what happens to Polynesian Blue?
Well, good question. Polynesian Blue, as you know, is one aeroplane, and it's a joint venture with the Samoan government. And we'll have, we'll obviously we'll have dialogue with the Samoan government, and we'll see what best suits all parties. But it is one aeroplane out of a fleet of 19. Well, it's not about that. It's about the fact that we are Australian. I mean, we are an Australian listed company. We're fortunate to have a strong shareholder in Richard and a strong brand.
Honorary Australian.
Honorary Australian.
30 times in the last 3 years.
And we are very much Australian. I mean, our fabric. We employ people in Australia. In fact, I've said openly, I think, recently that our intention is to have as much of our work as possible done onshore, and that is exactly what we intend to do. There's an Australian flag being held by the maiden for a purpose, because we are Australian, and we're proud of that. Well, I think what it says is that we've reached agreement with them on the brand name. That's all it says. I have said, I think, a few times that we are working on an Asian strategy, but because we have so many things that are on the go, I don't envisage rolling that out until the end of this calendar year. So we're still on track, but thanks, Ben. Well, as you noticed, no, you haven't noticed actually. You will when you go in. We're not going to announce that today. We're working on something which is very exciting, but I'll just leave that hanging for a while.
But there will be.
There will be.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, there will be. Absolutely, there will be.
Thank you.
Yes, John. How much money do you spend?
What to read, Richard. Well, we said at the beginning of the Game Change program, we said that the incremental cost of making the changes, capital costs of making the changes that we had to make and are making, was no more than about the price of the 737, which is somewhere, we use that as a line, but it's really between 30 and 35 million. And we are, I'm very proud to say, my CFO is here, Sanko, who is nodding. We are absolutely on track with that. In fact, right in the middle, if not a little under. So,
that's not including a few new planes that we bought worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Anyway,
yeah, right. That was ordered before I got here. Oh no, it's 330.
Yeah, no,
that's right. That's a good point. Look, the Trans-Tasman, it's no secret that Trans-Tasman is a very, very difficult market to operate. There are a lot of carriers, a lot of capacity, and that's why we applied for ACCC approval for the alliance within New Zealand, because on our own it would be a very difficult, extremely difficult route to operate and make a return. But within New Zealand, it gives us the ability not only to do that and compete vigorously, but frankly also improve the potential for us to operate new sectors between New Zealand and Australia, which currently are not operating. You're not going to see the implementation of the, let's say the alliance until July. And from July, you'll start seeing the real benefits to the consumer of the alliance within New Zealand. Well, that'll be taken care of. Don't worry. Yeah. Well, you're mixing two or three different subjects there. So let's put fuel aside for a moment. The fact of the matter is, we will do both. We will continue to offer very, very competitive fares in economy, very competitive fares. And as I said, read the newspaper tomorrow morning when you see some of the things we'll announce later on, and you'll see what I mean. But at the same time, we will also be able to increase our fares with more flexible and better product offering for the business traveller, which will still be more economical than Qantas. But you've got to remember that our cost base is lower. Our cost base is much lower than our major competitor, and so that gives us an advantage. That means we can price, under them. I think by their own admission, they said that they have a yield premium of 40% on us. Well, we intend to attack that.
I mean, there's really no reason why somebody should pay 40% more to travel on Qantas when there's a better product on Virgin America, and that's what we hope to get that message across.
And I think when you see Australia, I think when you see the interior of the cabin, you'll know exactly what I mean and what Richard's just said. It will be abundantly clear. I think you're pretty excited.
Yeah, I think if you say take the Australia, I mean it's a lovely brand, but let's say for Americans, which is sort of 50 or 60% of the market, everybody in America has heard of Virgin, but to actually spend the hundreds of millions of dollars that it's cost us to build the Virgin brand in the States, building the Australia, which is not realistic. So immediately by changing the brand, to Virgin Australia, you've got Virgin America is very well known in America, Virgin Atlantic is very well known. So having the Virgin brand in it is going to make an enormous difference, I think, from that end. And obviously, Pacific Blue, it's all the different advertising you have to do. And unlike Qantas, we've just decided, we'll have one airline, really good quality airline throughout, and not have, the cheap airline on the one side and the so-called upmarket airline on the other side, which actually ends up costing them as a company a lot more money. It doesn't, the public, it doesn't endear them to the public. It mixes up their brand. So we will have one clean, powerful brand.
Well, I can give you a number of reasons. The first is what I said before. Our intention is to do as much work as possible onshore. That means providing jobs, number one. Number two, we, through our code-share partners and our own flying, of course, internationally, we will access markets that currently aren't accessed, and we will promote Australia, which is good for tourism. In turn, that is good for the Australian economy. So in turn, that is good for Australian jobs. And on top of that, I think the overall standard of service and professionalism, I think, will make Australia proud of having such a great airline with such great service going forward. So I think it's good for the economy, good for tourism, good for employment. I think we have we look at things like the floods when they recently happened. We were very quick in putting up our hands, and we volunteered aircraft, we volunteered staff, we volunteered tickets. I don't recall the exact number of people we carried, but we raised about $2 million in donation. So we are part of the Australian fabric, and we intend to play our part in that.
Up to you.
Look, first of all, we're not in the middle. Sorry, I'm talking prior to today, right? even as we weren't in the middle. And the reason we weren't in the middle is because we were effectively a carrier with a low-cost fares, but whose cost base was no longer a low-cost carrier's cost base. So it became increasingly difficult to compete when you've got competitors below you at 30 and 40% lower cost base. But we did an unbelievably good job, and what carried us and was successful for us was absolutely the staff and the service and the product we just talked about. And what we're going to be offering from today is not going to be pushing away those people in the middle that you've mentioned, you know, the SME market and so on. Because they'll still get the great service, they'll still get the great airfares, but they'll get a shiny aeroplane with much more comfortable seats, direct entry to the lounge, and so on and so on. So I think, you know, the beauty of the Virgin brand, and there's no one better to talk about that than Richard, but I'll try and give you my view of it, is that it can be stretched to all ends of the market and do so successfully. Have a look at what Virgin Atlantic has done. It's nothing short of outstanding. They are so relevant at the leisure end of the market, so relevant, and yet they are so relevant at the top end, at the corporate, you know, the business traveller and everybody in between. And there's no reason why we can't do that, and there's no reason why we won't, and we will. Thanks, Richard.
This one, I mean, I always like to sort of come here and play devil's advocate, and you know, we introduced something at Virgin Atlantic and Virgin America called premium economy. It's been taken up by a lot of airlines around the world, and anyway, and it's something which we may well introduce here as well, which is very much in the middle. You know, so I think, if I can say, watch this space, and we'll John and I are debating it.
Okay, so we have 2 planes out there at the moment. By the end of this calendar year, we'll have over 20, and Sean, please remind me, I think it's 20 something? 20 planes by the end of this calendar year. The interior of the 737 fleet that flies domestically, there will be sufficiently reconfigured for us to introduce business class throughout the network by about September, October this year. You know, we're quite fortunate in one sense that we have, not only do we have a young fleet, but we have a fleet that is also, you know, some aircraft that are going out and some aircraft that are coming in. And if I remember correctly, this year we've got about 12 or 14 aeroplanes that are coming in. And so we're ordering them in the new colours, we're ordering them in the new, you know, fabrics, etc. So in essence, there isn't any additional cost to it, you're just asking for a different colour. You know, the incremental cost is minuscule. So it kind of works with the schedule, and that is one of the ways that we've been able to keep the capital costs low, because of the turnover of fleet that we have in the next 24 months. But to the ground product that you talk about, you know, obviously not every single sign will be done in 24 hours, but the majority of the customer contact areas will be done within a week. And you know, you'll sort of be good by the end of the year, obviously, it'll be done, but it'll be very, very quick.
Well, I mean, when we started off 26 years ago in the airline business, you know, traveling in a business airline anywhere in the world was dire, absolutely dreadful, and you know, the experience was not that better than economy class, which was also dire, you know, and I like to think that Virgin as a brand and a team of people, we continue to reinvent, and as we've reinvented, the competitors have, you know, sometimes they've copied us or try to catch up, and sometimes they haven't. But you know, the business traveller, understandably, you know, wants comfort. They want to be able to sleep on long flights. You know, they want everything. They want every single box ticked. You know, when I travel, I travelled on business class last night. I was fortunate to get a seat, as an airline owner, or I will have my notebook. I'll still have my notebook. I'll still get out and talk to the passengers, make notes, talk to the staff, make notes. As they've already had a lot of my notes since I've come off, it's just getting all those little details right. And that's what that's for the amount of money people pay for business class, they should expect that. It's detail. Like every single little detail has to be right. Unfortunately, I think right across Virgin, we've got people that want to get every little detail right. I think it's extremely important because we've now effectively got a global airline brand where people can fly around the world on the same airline branded Virgin, and they expect a consistency of service. There'll be little tweaks here and there where the Virgin Atlantic might have one up on Virgin Australia or vice versa, but quickly, hopefully, the managing directors will pick up on it and improve their airline. But so consistency of service, I think, is important. Thank you very much, everybody. And I would like to show off the interiors. We've seen the exteriors. Do people like the exteriors, generally?
Who doesn't? So we know not to invite you back.
Anyway, all right, come and have a look.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much.